Grace and Mercy Ministries presents This Is Your Season with Pastor Donald L. Watson. And now for today's message.
So my very first point is the enemy of generosity. The enemy of generosity. Selfishness is the enemy of generosity. We are born selfish. We master the word mine at a very young age. And after we master that word of mine at a very young age, and sometimes we don't grow out of it. We still look at it and say it's mine. Selfishness can kill relationships. Selfishness kills marriages. It kills friendships. It kills family ties. It can even kill the closeness with God. Selfishness promotes self. Selfishness protects self. Selfishness provides for self. God is the one who's supposed to promote and protect and provide for us. But selfishness wants to take the place of God. Selfishness says we don't need God. We can promote ourselves. We can protect ourselves. And we can provide for ourselves. And as we get caught up in that selfishness, sometimes it grows on us and it becomes a stronghold even when we get older. And we don't know how to break that sometimes. But in our story today, Judas shows his selfish heart when he says the expensive perfume that Mary poured out on Jesus was a waste. He said it could have been sold and given to the poor. Judas was trying to cover up his own motives by pointing the fingers at someone else being extravagant. He didn't really care about the poor. Sometimes they were trying to deceive us by pointing the finger at somebody else, and yet when we want to turn around and say what's going on, they got their hand in the money jar. Judas wanted his own kingdom. Judas wanted things to go his way. Judas wanted to take everything he could that was around him for his purposes. Judas was selfish and dishonest and greedy. In fact, it's interesting because Jesus picked him to be in charge of the money box. He gave him every opportunity to overcome his selfishness by giving him the responsibility of the area that he was weak in. And sometimes God will give us a responsibility of something he knows that we're weak in. Well, Pastor, I really can't do that. I really don't feel strong enough to do that. But if God takes you and puts you in an area where you're weak at, he's putting you there for a reason. And when he did that for Judas, he gave him an opportunity to overcome his selfishness by giving him that responsibility in his weakest area. Now, we might say that might not have been the best strategy. Wouldn't that expose his weakness? Yes. Would that mean that he would be tempted and give in to greed? Yes. But the cool thing about temptation is in the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 10 verse 13. It says no temptation has size. Wait a minute, let me write here. No temptation has overtaken you except such as common to man. But God is faithful, who will not allow you to be tempted beyond what you are able. But with the temptation will also make a way of escape, that you may be able to bear it. He will make a way of escape for you. Robert Morris, one of the guys I've been studying for the last couple of months, shows a parallel between Judas and what he was doing and the tithes that belongs to God. Judas was effectively taking money out of the offering box. People would give to support the ministry and the teachings of the Rabbi Jesus, and Judas was taking it out. Now, there's no doubt in my mind that there's no one in here today that would take money out of the offering, right? And although Pastor Gibbs just went over Malachi chapter 3, and you know what belongs to God, you wouldn't steal God's money, right? Because God says, well, a man robbed me. And yes, where would he rob me? He would rob me in tithes and an offering. And so he lined that up with what Judas was doing, was stealing out of the money box. He lines that up, and it serves a parallel that we are robbing God too when we don't pay our tithes and our offering. And it could boil right back down to selfishness. That we are selfish because we think we could do it all on our own, and we think we don't need God to step in and help us. But those who learn how to tithe, those who learn how to put God first, found out that Malachi chapter 3 actually comes to pass. Because he says he will open the windows of heaven and pour you out a blessing that you shall not have room enough to receive it. See, once you realize that God is on your side, then you realize, oh my goodness gracious, why didn't I learn this years ago? And yet folks have been telling you over and over and over, but sometimes that selfish mind comes over and takes over. And when that selfish mind takes over, I'd rather go wash my car today. I saw something in the store that looks just as good, and instead of me giving my money to that church, why don't I just take and go and get what I want? And it's quite interesting, because sometimes we'll take our money and spend it on something that we thought we want, and then 2 weeks later we don't even really want it. Or it breaks down, or something happens, or we run out of money. We can't even go from paycheck to paycheck because the devourer comes in and starts eating up our tithes, or eating up the money that we kept from God. God has a way of showing you how to make your money last, and he has a way of letting you see how quick your money can go. And you're still trying to figure out, I thought I had enough money to pay my bill. If you did what God said. See, that's the problem. We don't want to do what God says. We feel that we need the whole 100%. And God said, I only need 10%. I only need one dime out of your dollar. That's all I need. But we think we need the whole thing. Selfishness is the enemy of generosity, because selfishness only promotes itself. But when you learn how to be generous, oh my God, it releases blessings. It releases the money that God has given you. You give it back to God, but it releases other things to you, because God now knows he can give it to you, and you're not going to sit on it, but you're going to release it. You learn how to be generous. Now, let me get into this story just a little bit. See, because she gave extravagant of her generosity. And the word says that she gave 1 year wages of perfume. 1 year wages, one denario, and back in those times, she gave 300 denarios, which is a year wages. And if we were to take a look at that in today's terms, we'll begin to look at, let's say, take a middle class person who's making anywhere between $30,000 to $60,000 a year. A year wages she gave to the Lord. They said she took a pound of oil, 12 ounces of oil. If you took the 12 ounces and you divide it out, I think it's like $5,000 an ounce. Just to give you an idea in today's time, and taking $5,000 an ounce of oil, 12 ounces of oil, and taking it and pouring it on Jesus' feet. Judas had a fit. Yeah. He was like, whoa, what are you doing? You know how much it costs? Do you know that oil actually came from one of the roots that was over in India, and they took the oil out of the root, and then after they took it, they bottled it up, they put it into a stone, kind of like a jar, and put it on a camel. That's not something you could go to the store to buy. They'll put on the camel, and the camel went from India all the way over to Jerusalem in order for them to get it. That was some expensive oil. That was what they call the word extravagant. She went all out to put the oil on his feet. Now, I don't know about you, but they said that Lazarus was sitting there at the table, and Martha was cooking, and Mary was the one that was doing the ministering, because Mary loves to sit at the feet of Jesus. So as Lazarus, I like how the NIV put it. They said Lazarus was reclining at the table. So he was being cool. He was laid back. And then here comes Mary to clean Jesus' feet. Now you got to remember, back in that day, there was none but dust and dirt and mud and dung that folks stepped in to get to the house. And she was wrong, because what she did was she came in the presence of men, kneeled down on the floor, and began to pour the oil on his feet, because she was so happy that Jesus was there. And then where I said she was wrong at is because during those days, the woman was not allowed to allow their hair to be free or let down in the presence of men. She let her hair down. I was looking at your hair this morning. I said she let her hair down and just began to wash his feet with her hair. Now that's extravagant. That's something that you give to God that can't nobody else give to God. But let me ask a question. If your loved one died and God stepped in and brought him back to life, how much would you pay? Because if you read the story, Lazarus was dead. Her brother was in the grave for 4 days. And she said, Lord, don't even take him out because he stinketh. But he was all wrapped up. And then took him out of the grave, brought him back to life, and now he's sitting at the table. I don't know if y'all understand. Your loved one was dead. He was gone. And you would think the question was like, well, hey, Lazarus, when you died, where'd you go? Ain't nobody cared about that. They were just so happy to have him back in the presence. And then for her to take the oil, break it open, and just give it to him. And just begin, oh my God, can you imagine 12 ounces, a pound of oil just being poured all over you? All over, the fragrance just filled the house. And some of us got some real nice perfume that when you walk in the room, we know you here because it smells so good. And then when you leave the room, it's like you still here. But that fragrance just filled the house. And she gave what she had. She gave that years of worth of work. That year. And folks back in them days didn't have a lot. But to give a year's worth of salary, of perfume, and wash Jesus' feet, she gave it to him. And just washed his feet. And one disciple had a fit. One disciple had a fit because he wanted to make sure we could feed the poor. He was trying to line his own pockets. He wasn't thinking about the poor. But see, when we begin to look into this, there's actually 3 forms of giving. One is tithing, another one is offering, and another one is a lavish or extremely giving. Pastor said, he said earlier, we were trying to get 100 people to tithe, but the reality is not even 10% of the church tithe. Not even 10%. If we could get through that first step where we could get more folks to tithe, then we could go to that second step where folks could give an offering. Then we could go to that third step where somebody could give an extreme. See, we can't give an extreme because we can't give a tithe. Because we're too busy or selfish of our money, thinking that if we gave that much, we ain't going to have enough to make ends meet. But here's a quick story. There was a young couple that got married. This young couple had a good job. And in this job, they got bonuses. So they got this large bonus. And they felt that the Lord told them they need to do something with this money. So they came to the pastor and they say, Pastor, we have a check for this sum of money. And we don't know who to give it to or what to do with it. And the pastor said, hey, there was a lady here in my office a few days ago. She's a widow lady. Her house is up for foreclosure. And that check will cover that lady's house to keep it from going into foreclosure. The couple listened to what God said, and then the couple came and seek counsel. And as the couple came and seek counsel, they found out exactly where that money was supposed to go. The woman whose house is up for foreclosure had no idea where that money was coming from, but she trusts God. She trusts God, and God touched somebody else's heart. And as he touched somebody else's heart, somebody else, oh my God, oh my God. Oh my God, we have not because we asked not. You said, well, did she ask for it? She came and told the pastor. So she must have asked. We don't know what God is doing. But in order for us to live this life of generosity, to live this life of being a church that gives, we have to learn how to first give. We have to learn how to first take ourselves and put ourselves behind and put God first. See, some folks want to teach you that all you do for God, God will turn around and bless you. But we want to make sure we do what God is calling us to do. We're not in it for us. We're in it for him. We came to lift him up. We came to tell him thank you. We came to give him the praise. We came to give him the worship. And as we do that for him, he'll turn around and bless you. And he blesses us in different ways. See, right before I end this, God is a rewarder. And because he is a rewarder, over in the book, it says, what can you give God? What can you give him $10,000 and he's happy? Can you give him $1 million and he's happy? Can you give him $100 million? Can you give him the debt, figure that the debt of United States owes? Can you do that? Would that make God happy? No. None of that will make God happy. See, God is not interested in your money. God is interested in you. See what you're going to do and how you're going to go about it. See, over in Hebrews 11:16 says, and without faith it's impossible to please God, because everyone who comes must believe that he exists and that he is a rewarder of those who earnestly seeks him. So God wants to bless you just because you're because one, you believe that he exists. Two is because you gave yourself to him. And then as you do that, as you turn around and bless people, God turns around and bless you. He's a rewarder. He will bless you because you're blessing somebody else. But when you turn around and decide to be selfish and hold on to what God is trying to do, then we can't, oh my God, then God, he has a closed hand. But when you open your hand up and say, thank you, Lord, for the blessings that you put in my hand, for the blessings you put in my place. Some of y'all got brand new cars, and this church has been blessed this year with cars. So it's about my time for me to get a car. But some of y'all been blessed this year with cars. And the reason I know is because folks stopped calling me for a ride. Which means somebody else is giving them a ride to church. Which means God has blessed somebody with some wheels that's able to turn around and bless somebody else to be able to get to church. Y'all don't understand how God works. God is blessing you so you can turn around and bless somebody else. See, he just didn't give it for you to be selfish and sit on it all by yourself. But he gave it to you so you can share it. Oh my God. Oh my God. And then if you do that, he says, now I'm going to reward you for being as good as you has been faithful for what you've been doing. And because you've been faithful at the work that you've been doing, not around here, but what you've been doing in the community, I'm going to reward you. I'm going to give you even more than what you even expected, what you even dreamed of, what you even thought of. But he can't do it if you're selfish. You can't do it. Because, see, they said, where your treasure is where your heart is, or where your heart is where your treasure is. So if you're tight on your treasure and you're tight on your heart, God can't help you. But if you allow God in and you begin to show God how good he is, and because he has blessed you, I got to share it with my brother. I got to share it with my sister. I got to go over here. I got to let folks know. Oh my God. And when you begin to do that, God steps in. And he goes, oh. You know, there was a story I used to tell a lot. And it's because I didn't realize how selfish I was when I first got into the ministry. I gave somebody a ride one day. My wife probably heard this story several times. I gave somebody a ride one day, and I took them to rehab. And I remember going up to Hartford. And when I got there, the guy said, you know, I need a Bible. And I said, well, I ain't got no Bible but mine. This is my first Bible. This is the one I got when I preached my first sermon. This is the one I got my notes in. This is the one I got my highlights in. This is the one that is real close to me. I'm planning on holding this Bible until I die. And God said, give him the Bible. I was like, what? This Bible means a lot. He said, give him the Bible. Do you know I gave him the Bible and the tears start running down? And I came home and I told my wife, you know, I gave him my Bible. I had my name on it and everything. Had all all my little notes in it, you know, and she went out and bought me another Bible, but it was like, that ain't the same. But we have to get past being selfish and learning and listening to what God has said. Now, I mean, all my notes and stuff, God said He needed those. Everything I had highlighted, God said He needed those. He said, because even as he opens the Bible and don't know what to read, he's going to see something highlighted. He's going to see a note. He's going to see something in there that's going to help him to get through. He said he needed those. So what am I saying? In order to live a generous life, we have to learn, first of all, how to give to God. But we also have to learn how to share what we have. We said we want to be like the church in the book of Acts in the 2nd chapter. And they came in and put everything together, all their resources together. And then as they put their resources together, they began to share with folks that was in need. See, if you really want to be like that kind of church, then we have to really learn how to bring our resources together. And not worry about someone got a cracker more than I got. Someone got an extra cup of juice. We're not fighting over those little things. We're looking to expand the kingdom of heaven. If you're hungry, we're going to help feed you. If you're thirsty, we're going to give you something to drink. If you need some clothes, we're going to give you some clothes. If you're in prison, we're going to come see you. If you're in the hospital, we're going to come see you. See, it's not about the little things that we fight over. If we want to be a generous church. Now, I'm going to say this and then I'm going to go sit down. I said that Mary changed her whole ideal on finances and giving after God stepped in and raised Lazarus back to life. And I said, well, how much would you pay? Because the word tells us that we were all dead. Right. We were dead in our trespasses and sins. And Jesus Christ came and rescued us and put us live in Christ. Because he brought us back to life in Christ. How much would you pay for him? He took you out of the darkness. He took you out of the mirror. He took you from where you were at. And he gave you life. And he gave it to you more abundantly. Would you crack open your oil? And would you just pour it all over Jesus' feet because you're so thankful that he brought you a mighty long way? You're so thankful that he took you out of the crack house? You're so thankful that he brought you out of the hospital? Would you do it for him? Living a generous life. You know, you can never beat God given. You can't beat him given no matter how hard you try. He's always there. He's always there. He's always there. He's always watching over us. He's always keeping us. He never sleeps, nor do he slumbers. He knows what you're going through. He knows the aches and the pains that you have. He knows what the doctor said. He knows how you need to be healed. He knows where he stands in your life. Just let him in. Just let him in. Let him in and let him do his work. Stop fighting against him. Come on, give God a hand praise. Living a generous life. Living a generous life. He said, Pastor, every time I come here, you're talking about money. Am I really? Am I trying to get you blessed? Am I trying to get you to see that there's more to it than what you just see? There's more to life than what's on your block. If you're only looking on your block, you're so far gone that you don't even know what's out there. There's more than just the North End. There's more than a one-room apartment. There's more than that. God says, I will meet your needs. And some of us, we stand in need of some great things. As long as there's a need, God said, I will meet it. But as I bless you, are you going to be selfish and keep it? Or are you going to be generous and begin to share it? And as you begin to share it, you go, watch how the people around you begin to change, because they begin to see Christ in you.
This has been another episode of This Is Your Season. To find out more about Grace and Mercy Baptist Church, please contact us by calling 860-343-7335 or writing us at Grace and Mercy Baptist Church, P.O. Box 2301, Middletown, Connecticut, 06457. We are currently located at 13 Waverly Ave in Portland, Connecticut. You can also find us on the web at gracemercyministries.com and like us on Facebook at Facebook/Grace Mercy Church. We hope to see you soon. Thank you for enjoying our program and have a blessed day.